Greetings and thanks for tuning in. This is a video about the Ouija board, or to some it's been known as the talking board. Ouija boards have captured the interests of many people, the wide range of ages, professions, etc., backgrounds, you name it, etc. This mystical oracle offers worldly excitement. There have been multiple names affiliated with the creation of this mysterious game. But so far, and to the best of my knowledge from past and present research, this board game called the Ouija board was invented by a man named Charles Kennard. And he was originally an undertaker and also known to be an opportunist. The Ouija board was created in 1890, originating in Maryland, in the United States of America. The Ouija board is made up of alpha letters from A to Z. The numeric goes from 1 to 0. There's also a yes or no. And then along the bottom is a word, goodbye. There's a board, and then it'll come with a blanket. And they're usually made of wood, but some are made of other material as well. A woman named Helen Peters helped certify the board by giving it its United States patent, and is certified through the federal government. This was also done with this man, attorney Elijah Bond. And on some of the board games, you'll even see his name on it, right on the board. With this mysterious game, comes a lot of wonder and questions, and people have different experiences from them. Earlier on, in the early 1800s, people's life expectancy was about half of what it is now. People only lived to reach around age 50. Now, in 1927, the man William Fuld, known as the father of the Ouija, he was an investor and a worker who ended up taking control over the Ouija business. He also had claimed that the Ouija board told him to build the factory, the very factory that he built. He went on to build more and more factories as well to keep up with the demand of these Ouija boards. Tragically, in 1927, Fuld went on the roof of one of his factories to supervise a flagpole installation. While leaning on a support, he lost his balance and ended up falling off the roof onto the ground from 3 stories up. He ended up dying on his way to the hospital due to a rib bone piercing his heart, so he then died. 4 decades later, and even to this day now, Parker Brothers now owns the patent for the Ouija board. When Parker Brothers took over, they started their headquarters in Salem, Massachusetts. And that was in 1967. And it was right in the exact area where witch trials were held. And I ask you, how do you feel about Ouija boards? Do you believe there is some truth to it? Or do you feel that it should be something left alone? Are you up for it? Are you curious about some of the information it may have, or even just learning more about it, its creators, and more of its purpose, if there is in fact one? When it comes to witchcraft and things like that of a phenom, you have some people that agree that these instances occurred historically and possibly currently, and then there's some people that don't believe that. So I just wonder, those that are watching, what do you believe? Do you believe there's any connection between these different ways of communicating or channeling in? Or do you feel that they're separate? Because there is actual documentation in the libraries that have to do with the witch trials. And it's in the reference section, by the way, of the library. So that shows too that the Ouija board is saying that it is actually a real substance. There's something to it, and I'm going to get into that. And yeah, it's not science fiction. It's actual facts, and that's why it's in the reference section too. Now, the most interesting things known was through research at the University of the British Columbia. And through research, they found that the Ouija board actually works, just not the way we might assume. Now, in 1852, a man named Dr. B. Carpenter discovered ideometer effect. It's pronounced I. That is known to be the ability to direct motor activity through the unconscious mind. And scientists have later linked that to spiritual phenomena or supernatural force. When you think of an idiom, the idiom is through your own experience, your own unique experience, which some people have had through the Ouija boards. And there's follow-up studies of information that is in the academic journal called Consciousness and Cognition. And they mentioned this type of information. Part of this is believed that your unconscious is working even though you don't realize it. If you're sitting at a board with a person, because it does take more than one person, you're told not to do it alone. You do it with another person for education purposes or entertainment purposes. And you do that, but they're feeling that your mind is still somewhat in control. Your mind is still coming up with the responses, so you're kind of guiding it, whether you've realized it or not. That's where they're getting that from. There's also a belief that it can pull things from the mind that were there, you didn't realize were there, or that were still there, and it actually gets pulled out while you're sitting and you're focusing on what the question is, what the topic is that you have put out there while you're on the board. So there's different things like that they've done different research on to try to understand if in fact this board is working, which a lot of people feel it does. So they want to know how, why, what's really going on. So to this day, a lot of people are fascinated by it, enjoy it, have fun with it. So just wondering, how do you feel about it? Do you just feel more in the mood about things like this when it's Halloween time, like the time now? Is it unconscious knowledge that's somewhere being pulled from your mind? Is this real at all? So if you'd like to leave some of your thoughts on that, leave the comments below. And yeah. So yeah, there's interesting history to the game itself, but it is very limited information that is provided. So it does tend to just become just still an ongoing fascination that people have with things that are just interesting. Things that are unknown grow a curious mind. At the same time, you talk with people that feel that it's something of evil. It may be something not good, or are you pushing limits too far? Are you taking advantage? I say this, there's rules to the game like anything else too, so you respect things. If you feel that you didn't respect something, make it up to it. Like when you come in contact with people, just like you feel like a spirit, would you be respectful or would you be disrespectful? It seems that respect would always be the right way to go. So I think when you're on your journey and you're staying respectful and you want to gain an understanding, you will be enlightened. If you're seeking for knowledge and an enlightenment, it will come. So just want to know what you think too. So that is the origin of the Ouija board as we know it. And again, there are some similar ones in Asia and in some other countries. So it was a way that people were looking into different ways of communication. They even found in some of the tomb, there was a type of writing board like I showed, and that was in Egypt. So these date far back, even to now. Yeah, so that is the Ouija board and its origin. This is a documentation right here. So this is a copy of the actual patented document. So this was from the U.S. government, and this was an issuance for the actual Ouija board so that it can it was in production and everything and to be sold, but it is patented. And there's the proof right there. So again, as always, by all means, share your thoughts if you like to share any. And of course, just leave them down below. And there's reaction buttons if you'd like to react. Okay. And again, as always, thank you for watching. And peace and blessings to you. And this is Kai, NY007, right here on YouTube.com. Thank you and take care.